Even though each app that we create will be specific to its underlying technology, there are definitely a lot of similarities too. There is no point in coding everything over and over again, therefore we frequently reuse code from one app in another app. And for that reason, I suggest you follow the course in sequential order rather than jump into different sections of the course. This will give you the best understanding of what is happening with the code. That being said, I also provide complete source code. So if you are interested in just a specific type of app, you can skip the rest and go straight to it. Then just follow along with the videos and reuse the code the way I am, using the provided source code. Still, I suggest you at least do the first MVC app before moving on to the other apps, because everything in that project is created from scratch. This project is the base application for all of the other apps we create, so by doing the MVC project, you will have a good understanding about the models and how the identity is set up and how it works. Now let me just show you how to run the provided source code. I provide all apps in a single solution. To run any of the apps, just follow these simple instructions. When you unzip the files, this is going to be the basic structure that you will see. As you can see, we have the Employee Manager, which is our MVC project. Then we have the API, API Client, Azure, Blazor, and Razor pages. So you simply open it by clicking the Employee Manager.sln. And that will open your solution. Now currently, if you run this, it would run whatever project is being selected. To run any of these projects that you are interested in, simply right-click the solution, go to Properties, and then in the Common Properties, here's the startup project that you can select. And from here, you can select a single startup project, and from the drop-down, you will select which one you want to run. Once you select it, click Apply and OK, and then you will simply run the project just like you run any project from Visual Studio. Now, when you want to run API though, again, you right-click the solution, go to Properties, and the API consists of two projects. It consists of the API as well as the API client. So instead of selecting single project, you click the multiple startup projects, and then you will select the Employee Manager.api to start, and also the Employee Manager API client. You will set it to start. Again, you click Apply, then OK, and when you run this, it will open in two different browser windows. The first one is the API itself, and the second one is the client with all the views. And then, once it is loaded, you can just test the application. Now we are using .NET Core identity for each of the projects. In order to use the application, you first need to be signed in. The way we have it set up is that anyone who creates an account can sign in. So to test this, simply click Create New Account, and once you create new account, you can go to Sign In page and use those username and password that you selected to sign in. And once you sign in, you have access to the application. Now, when you are creating an account, identity, the way we have it set up, requires that your password uses both lowercase and uppercase letters, as well as numbers, and also special characters. So if you just use admin as a password, it will not work. It has to be an actual password. Now, one app that you cannot run from this solution is the Azure App. And that's because it requires a connection to the live database. The string is in app-settings.json, as you can see over here. And the connection requires a username and a password to the live database, and I'm just not gonna provide it for you because of the obvious reasons that this can be very easily abused. So if you try to run this app, nothing's gonna connect to the database and the app will not run. However, once you set up your own Azure database, you can come over here and change the connection string to your own server, and then set your own ID as well as password, and then you can run this application that connects to your database. And of course, the Azure application is the same as any of the applications in my solution, so you can run the MVC or Blazor or the API. They are all the same project with the same look and feel. And they also connect to the same database, which is the Northwind database. The only difference is that these are on the local server and the Azure application connects to the live database on Azure. Alright, so this is how you get to run any application from the solution. And I also have this app live on Azure. Here is the URL that you can go to. To use the live app, you first need to register a user. Once registered, you can use the login credentials to log in to the app and test the CRUD operations yourself. Now keep in mind, this is a live app and I set a limit to how much traffic is allowed so that I don't go over a budget that I set up for this project. Therefore, if you cannot use this live app, it's probably because the allocated credit ran out. But really, you already saw everything we are going to build in these introductory videos, so there is not much else you can see for yourself on the live version of the app. Alright, so I think we are now ready to start coding, so buckle up and let's code.